It's 10 p.m. on a Thursday night in a studio apartment in Brooklyn. The city below is a blur of yellow cabs and sirens, but inside, the air is thick with a specific kind of electricity. Julian is staring at a project brief that has been sitting on his desk for 3 weeks. It's a 5,000-word case study and a 3D structural model. Most people would have spent 21 days on this. Julian has 10 hours. He knows what people say. They call it poor time management. They call it stress-induced procrastination. They call it a toxic trait. And maybe they're right. But as Julian looks at the mountain of work ahead of him, he doesn't feel panic. He feels a cold, sharpening clarity. You see, Julian has a secret. He doesn't work well in the shallows. He doesn't know how to do an hour a day. His brain is like a high-performance jet engine. It doesn't even start to provide thrust until it's pushed to the red line. He needs the pressure. He needs the deadline. He needs the toxic belief that he can do the impossible in a single night. Tonight, we aren't talking about balance. We aren't talking about slow and steady. We are talking about the war of the single night. We are talking about how Julian transforms from a procrastinator into a god of productivity when the sun goes down. Grab your coffee. Lock the door. This is the anatomy of a one-night miracle. The clock hits 11:30 p.m. Julian is entering the first phase, the adrenaline spike. Most people think staying up all night is just about fighting sleep. It's not. It's a chemical battle. Julian understands the circadian rhythm and how to hijack it. He knows that his body is about to enter a melatonin surge, and he has to outrun it. He uses cold exposure to reset his nervous system. He splashes ice-cold water on his face and keeps the apartment at 64 degrees. The cold keeps the lizard brain awake. He avoids heavy meals. He knows that digestion is the enemy of focus. He sticks to water and strategic doses of caffeine. No sugar, no crashes. He realizes that his toxic trait is actually a high-stakes bet on his own neuroplasticity. When the deadline is that close, the brain enters a state called hyper-focus through urgency. The prefrontal cortex stops overthinking and starts executing. The internal critic, the part of Julian that usually says this isn't good enough, is silenced by the emergency protocol. He looks at his peers who finished the project days ago. They are sleeping soundly. But Julian feels a strange sense of superiority. He is dancing on the edge of failure, and he's never felt more alive. He isn't surviving the night. He is weaponizing it. He is proving that intensity can replace duration. By 1 a.m., the aesthetic of the night is gone. This is the production phase. Julian uses the modular breakdown method. He doesn't look at the whole project. That would lead to paralysis. Instead, he breaks the night into 3 sprints. Sprint 1, 1 a.m. to 3:30 a.m. The heavy lifting. This is when his brain is still sharp. He tackles the 3D modeling. He solves the complex structural problems. Sprint 2, 3:30 a.m. to 6 a.m. The narrative. This is when the quiet of the world feeds his writing. He flows through the words, letting the pressure dictate the pace. Sprint 3, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. The Polish. This is the safety zone. He does the formatting, the citations, and the rendering. He understands the law of diminishing returns. He knows that by 4 a.m., his IQ will start to drop. To fight this, he uses cognitive switching. Every 90 minutes, he switches the type of work he is doing. He moves from digital to physical, or from writing to designing. This refreshes the neural pathways and prevents the zombification of the mind. He practices digital minimalism in its most extreme form. His phone is not just away, it is powered down. He uses a minimalist text editor. No formatting, no distractions, just white text on a black background. He is creating a sensory vacuum. In this vacuum, Julian isn't just a student. He is a machine of output. He finds a rhythm in the silence. The ticking of the clock isn't a threat. It's a drumbeat. It's the sound of his competition sleeping while he builds his empire. He begins to realize that his toxic trait is actually his greatest competitive advantage. He can do in 8 hours what others do in 80. 4:15 a.m. This is the shadow realm. This is the point where the adrenaline fades and the raw exhaustion hits. Julian's eyes are burning. His hands are slightly shaking. This is where the toxic part of the trait becomes real. His brain starts to play tricks on him. He starts to wonder if the work he's doing is even coherent. This is the threshold of the elite. Julian uses physiological sighs to calm his nervous system. Double inhale, long exhale. He does 2 minutes of air squats to pump oxygen back to his brain. He refuses to lie down. He knows that if his horizontal plane changes for even a second, the night is over. He looks at his whiteboard. It's covered in scribbled formulas and war map diagrams. He feels a sense of primal clarity. In the exhaustion, his ego has died. He is no longer worried about being perfect. He is only worried about being done. This ego death allows for a level of creativity that he can't access during the day. He makes connections he wouldn't have made at 2 p.m. He takes risks in his design that he would have been too safe to try before. He realizes that the all-nighter is a form of shamanic journey. He is traveling to the edge of his capabilities to bring back something extraordinary. The world outside is beginning to turn a deep, royal blue. The first birds are starting to chirp. To the rest of the world, it's a new day. To Julian, it's the final lap of a race. He is the one who stayed awake. He is the gatekeeper of the morning. 7:30 a.m. The sun is hitting the tops of the Brooklyn brownstones. Julian hits save. He hits submit. The silence that follows is the most beautiful thing he's ever heard. He feels a surge of pure, unfiltered dopamine. It's not the cheap hit of a social media notification. It's the heavy, golden dopamine of a mission accomplished against all odds. He looks at the work. It's good. In fact, it's better than good. It has a sharpness to it that his slow-paced work lacks. It has the energy of the night baked into it. He realizes that his toxic trait isn't about laziness. It's about risk tolerance. Most people are too afraid to leave it until the last night. They prioritize the safety of a schedule. Julian prioritizes the potency of the pressure. He walks to his small balcony and breathes in the cold morning air. He sees people walking to the subway, starting their 9-to-5 grind. They look rested, but they look normal. Julian feels like he's just come back from a war. He is exhausted, yes, but he is triumphant. He has proven once again that he is a weapon of the 11th hour. He has mastered the art of the condensed grind. He understands that he can't live like this every night. That would be true toxicity. But he knows that when he needs to, he can summon a level of intensity that others don't even believe exists. Julian sits back down at his desk. The coffee is long gone. The candle has burnt down to nothing. He looks at the camera, at you. "You're watching this because you're a procrastinator," he says. "You're watching this because you have something due tomorrow and you haven't started. You're looking for a sign that it's okay to wait. You're looking for validation for your toxic trait. Well, here it is. It is possible. You can do it in one night. But only if you're willing to pay the price. only if you're willing to kill the distracted version of yourself and let the machine take over. The sun is going down, the clock is starting, the zombies are going to bed. This is your time. This is your night. Don't spend it watching another video. Don't spend it romanticizing your stress. Close this tab, open the work, and don't stop until the sun comes up. Prove to yourself that you are a weapon. The night belongs to you. Go.